Alright, today we're going to cover vegan or vegetarian diets. And what I do on this is I'm going to go with my opinion first, give some science, look at both sides, and just get to the bottom core of the situation here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with my opinion. I'm not a vegetarian, not a vegan, nothing of the sort. Definitely a meat eater. Although I don't eat much red meat. I eat a lot of chicken, fish, shellfish, and pork, but I don't eat a lot of red meat just because I'm not a fan of it. It's just never been one of my things. But, so when you get down to the science behind whether man is an omnivore or not, there's no debate on that matter anymore. It is just recorded science now, where there have been 2 studies released by these long-term cross-university studies on the omnivorous characteristics of a human being, as in where, 1, we have canines. You can't really see it there, but we do. We have canines, forward-facing eyes, large developed brains. All predatory animals have these. If we were herbivores, we would have eyes on the side of our head, because we wouldn't need the depth perception to hunt. Okay? We wouldn't have canine teeth because we wouldn't need to tear through meat. Okay? The most important study was done on a skull found in Tanzania, okay, on a pre-human toddler who died of malnutrition 1.5 million years ago. She died from parodic hyperostosis, sorry if I'm butchering that, type of spongy bone growth associated with low levels of dietary iron, vitamins B9 and B12, the result of diet lacking animal products in a species that requires them. The child was around weaning age, so either the child's mother's breast milk lacked key nutrients, or the child himself did not consume enough nutrient directly from meat and eggs. The finding implies that meat must have been an integral part and not sporadic of the pre-human diet more than 1 million years ago. And that's coming from Manuel Dominguez Rodrigo, archaeologist at University in Madrid. This supports the theory that meat fueled human brain evolution because meat, from arachnids to zebras, was plentiful in the African savanna where humans evolved, and is the best package of calories, proteins, fats, and vitamin B12 needed for brain growth and maintenance. Carnivore animals, whether terrestrial or aquatic, are bigger brained than herbivores. There are no traditional society that live as vegans because it wouldn't be possible to get vitamin B12, which is only available in animal products. So that's kind of just a little, hate to read to you here, but a little bit of the study. Basically what it's saying too is we couldn't have developed the brain we did and become what we are today without meat products. Impossible. We wouldn't have started cooking and eating meat. We would have never gone beyond what our friends did. The chimp, gorilla, orangutan. Because without vitamin B12, it doesn't allow for the kind of brain growth that allows a human being to do what we do. Now let's look at veganism in another light, okay? I've heard a lot of arguments online where people say, everything from it's cruel, inhumane, and that, we treat these animals horribly, and yada yada and so on, which might be true in some aspects, but I know a lot of farmers really don't treat their animals bad because it's how they make their money. I've heard that artificially inseminating dairy cows for the purpose of keeping them to produce milk is rape. Boy, that's a really far stretch there just to get your point across. Really don't agree with that at all. Honestly, to be able to be raped, you would have to be able to feel shame and to be able to actually consent to the act, which they can't. Just because they can't consent doesn't mean it's rape. They can't consent at all because they can't speak. And honestly, they really don't know what the hell's going on. And that's one of the problems with the whole vegan movement and vegetarian movement is they try to push it on people a lot. And it's really stupid. Okay? If you eat meat, it's your healthy diet. It's what you're made to do. We are predators. We haven't been killing animals, eating meat, and wearing fur for almost 1 million years for no reason. It made us what we are today. We are the top of the food chain for a reason, because we can kill animals, and we just got so good at it that we started to be able to take the animals we kill, biologically engineer them through selective breeding, turn them into cows, chickens, and other animals that would have never existed in the wild to begin with. We made these animals what they are, and then we took them and herded them so we could keep them with us at all times, so we always had our food source along with us. In modern day society, sure, we can live off of a basic vegetarian diet, although a vegan diet is questionable how well you're doing. There's a lot of studies back and forth, both sides of it, but really, I know vegetarian vegans that are either healthy, and then I know the ones that look sickly, yellow and green, and can barely lift a thimble, because they're really not getting the necessary nutrients they need. And most of the ones that do look healthy and are getting the necessary nutrients they need take a lot of multivitamins and a lot of supplements to get there. So, yeah, I mean, it's all personal preference, see. But one thing I don't want people to do is assign human emotion to animals. Let's get one thing straight. Human emotion is a construct of an overly developed primate brain. Nothing more. Okay? The emotions you feel are all subjective to how you can rationalize and understand what you're feeling. And no matter how smart animals are, there are very few that are even close to being intelligent enough to rationalize and understand emotion. I put it this way to a friend of mine the other day. Hey, you ever have a feeling about something, but you couldn't put your finger on it? You knew you felt some way, but that feeling kind of like eluded you to exactly what it was. That's what animals feel about emotion almost all the time. You can't assign human emotional values to animals. It's impossible, because they aren't intelligent enough to even rationalize the emotion they're feeling. And two, we aren't as de-evolved as they are. Our brains are far more complex. So we can't even understand what emotion feels like into an animal. It might just feel like a tickle in our foot, brain-wise to them. So we really can't assign human emotion to animals. That's really careless and just stretching it way too far. So either way, that's the way I see it. Veganism's fine. Being a vegetarian's fine if that's your choice. For me, it's not mine. But I just hate people assigning emotional values to animals that they don't know they have, and then calling me a rapist, killer, and murderer because I choose to eat meat. If you really want to look at it that way, we can look at it the way that it truly should be looked at. Hey, what's the difference between a potato plant that you rip up out of the ground and kill, or a cow that you kill for meat? Both are living organisms, carbon-based. They both have, natural abilities to do things on their own. Like plants will grow towards the sun to get more nutrients through, it's all, what you feel about it is what makes it matter here. Somebody could feel that when you pull a plant out of the ground that you're committing murder of some kind. And then what do you say then? What do we all just go to eating some kind of synthetic, chemically made pill that supposedly gives us all our nutrients we need in the day? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So the way I look at it, eat vegetables if you like vegetables. I'll eat both, vegetables and meat. And I feel no moral quandary about whether what I'm doing is right or wrong. I'm on the top of the food chain for a reason. My advanced brain rose me there. I started killing animals with spears and bow and arrow or whatever was available. And that's what got me to where I am today. As a rational, thinking human being with an extremely advanced brain that we have. And I think a lot of you try to browbeat people into believing what you believe when you should just leave people well enough alone and believe your own thoughts yourself. So that's my thought on it. Feel free to reply.